Everybody for being here. I love to see these faces. You are part of the fabric of this nation. You and the other marchers at the other 15 cities in America who are doing this at the same time. You're part of the fabric of this country that is changing the idea of healthcare in America and what it's all about. And I thank you for being here. My name is Stephen Shull. I've lived with type 1 diabetes for 26 years. My daily life is an endless stream of glucose checks, math calculations, and insulin injections. I wear an insulin pump right here. I carry a continuous glucose monitor with me. I see an endocrinologist who devises strategies to help me live the best life I can with this disease. But you know what? That doesn't make me unique in this country. Diana said it. She said, there are 29 million people living with diabetes in this country. Heck, as chronic conditions go, I'm not even unique in my family. My wife lives with AFib. My mother lives with COPD. My father is a cancer survivor. One of my brothers in Ohio has 5 children, one of whom has Asperger's, and in fact 3 of his kids have actually tested somewhere on the autism spectrum. And that's the thing. I'll bet if we got everybody in America somehow into one room and we asked them, do you or a loved one live with something that people would consider a pre-existing condition, just about every hand in the room would go up. That's why there was so much resistance to the American Health Care Act. People from every part of the healthcare spectrum weighed in to say that regardless of their political leanings, they and their loved ones come first. They rose up in one voice and they said, when it comes to what's really important, patients are always more important than profit. All over this country, Republicans and Democrats have children living with diabetes. Liberals and conservatives have spouses and partners who have to manage their rheumatoid arthritis every single day. In every corner of this land, card-carrying GOP members and people from the party of the New Deal and independents too have parents who need and deserve access to things like flu shots and mammograms. So when the opposition began to build against the American Health Care Act, it wasn't all based on opposition to repeal and replace. It wasn't all about policy and tax credits. Instead, it was opposition to taking away protections for our loved ones, shoving them into high-risk pools that would cover very little, if any, of the drugs, treatment, and technology that they are afforded today. It was opposition from people who already pay thousands of dollars per year to stay alive, saying that they shouldn't have to pay thousands more for premiums, then pay even more on top of that because those premiums wouldn't cover as much as they are being covered for today. It was opposition to, as our Nashville March organizer told me this week, it was opposition to being just one test result away from being deemed uninsurable. When the people that are most dear to you are in danger of losing their protections of access to treatment, insurance, drugs, and therapy, we all understand. The stakes are life and death. What's been missing from lawmakers, I think, is the acknowledgement that those who do want to repeal and replace and those who don't want to repeal and replace all have children, spouses, partners, and parents who need and deserve care. We all have the same needs, and the number one need of all is to keep ourselves and our loved ones alive. Number 2 need is to stay as healthy as possible without going broke. So you know what? We're not unique. In fact, there are millions upon millions upon millions of us in this country. Together, we made the phone calls. We sent the emails. We attended congressional town hall meetings. And our efforts worked. Our elected officials responded. They pulled the legislation. Yeah. And you know what? If we have to, we're going to do it again. Because now we're hearing that the people who work in this building behind me are considering another try at healthcare reform. As they do, we need to be sure that they understand that if they're talking about doing something different with healthcare in the USA, the end result must be better for all Americans than the law it seeks to replace.
Absolutely.
All Americans, including and especially the millions most affected to changes with existing law. We're not unique. but we're powerful. We can and we have influenced Congress. We can, in fact, sway elections. So when Congress starts talking about repeal and replace again, make sure that they know it cannot be repeal and deny.
Right.
It cannot be repeal and bankrupt.
Right.
It cannot be repeal and left for dead.
Right.
Last time I checked, people weren't dying in the streets because of Obamacare. Hospitals weren't going broke because of the Affordable Care Act. So, as the health care debate goes on, let's remember those who are most dear to us, those who might also be living with chronic conditions. For me, that's my wife. It's my parents. It's my nieces and nephews. It's my friends living with chronic diseases, some of whom are here today. If their needs aren't met, my needs aren't met. Let's face it, we're now talking about cars that can drive themselves, using drones to deliver packages to our homes. Meanwhile, lawmakers have relegated healthcare to yes you can, no you can't series of decisions like a political football. Friends, that's 20th century thinking in a 21st century world. And it's 19th century way of thinking when it comes to doing what's best for people living with chronic conditions like mine. So let's remind those who still don't get it that any new healthcare legislation needs to provide more care.
Right.
It needs to help save more lives. It needs to cost less. As the debate on healthcare rages, let's keep the focus right where it belongs. Let's keep it on American lives. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.